Fuel tank removal and resetting, refitting. It looks like it's pretty straightforward. So that's what we're going to do. And this is the first time that I am working on this car in over a decade. So I'm both excited and nervous. So fuel cap, all right, we'll take that off. Here's the boot, the trunk, all that stuff. This one, I can actually keep up with the stand instead of a piece of wood. All right, so in here we have from the fuel cap leading into the tank, a pipe with a rubber bend in it. So all we have to do is, well, remove that rubber bend, take this out. That should be pretty straightforward. Let's give that a try. So this is the fuel tank itself. It's in pretty good condition, except check this out over here. It looks like the previous owner kind of backed into something. I mean, it's not bad. It could have been worse. Now in these older models, there's actually a plug where you can drain the fuel. Now that's pretty handy, but check this out here. It's kind of dented up. You know, there was at one point a dimple here where the fuel could collect when draining, and it looks to me like somebody had jacked up the car at this point. You can see it's all scuffed up here. Now here are the bolts that connect the tank to the body, and as you can see, the body is like totally corroded. And on the back here, we have where the fuel pump connects up, and an absolute mess. It's awful, right? But, you know, we're gonna deal with this. All right, so let's get to work draining this thing. I have no idea how much fuel is in here, so it'll be kind of interesting to see. I feel like I'm watching a horse pee. Well, now I've got myself a real conundrum, which is, what do I do with all of this fuel? I mean, there's gotta be, I don't know, 1.5 gallons there or something? I don't know. What's the point in even hypothesizing? The point is, I don't know what to do with that, so I need to do some research. I probably need to take it into a hazardous waste facility or something like that. But then what am I gonna put it in? All right, so the obvious answer is you put the fuel in fuel tanks. I get it. It took me a minute to kind of figure that out. Now, yeah, hold on here, folks. I know. What am I thinking? Am I actually going to pick up this whole darn thing? No, I kind of figure out this is a bad idea, but we get it right eventually. Now, yep, I find a hazardous materials dumping site nearby, clear on the other side of the valley, but that's all right. So we are all set. All right, I've taken care of that old fuel, so we're all set there, which means I can get back to work and start taking this thing off. Now, I think it's a 13 millimeter. One of the bolts that isn't all just covered with ook, it fits correctly. However, as I, mentioned, all the others are covered with ook. So I'm going to go through, scrape them off a little bit, see if I can clean them, and then we're going to start taking this thing off. Now, as you can see, these things aren't coming out real easily. I mean, not at all at this point. Part of the problem, of course, is that they're practically sealed with rust and gook. Another part of the problem is I get kind of confused on the lefty-loosey, righty-tighty when I'm under it versus over it and so forth. So I have to kind of pause and think about that for a moment. I know, it's embarrassing. All right, so my best guess is those bolts are so corroded that basically it's like trying to strip putty, right? Trying to remove putty, whatever you want to say. I'm going to keep fiddling with it, see if I can get them off. But I do have this option. So these are some sockets that I got from my father that basically remove stripped sockets. So 13 millimeters right there. I should be able to slip this on and really dig those teeth into it. There we go. I don't know. We might end up going this route, but yeah, I'll fiddle with it a little bit more, and then if worse comes to worse, yeah, we'll be breaking these bad boys out. Hey, I got one! All right. All right, I was able to get those bolts off. I didn't have to use the stripper things or anything. I used a ratchet wrench. This thing, oh, I freaking love these wrenches. I actually got them to work on the MG probably about 15 years ago, and now I'm finally using them. And yeah, they are sweet. Problem is now, it's so corroded and rusted and so forth that even though I've got all the bolts off, that tank's not coming down. So I'm going to see if I can coax it a little bit. Let's start coaxing. All right, so that didn't work. I can't really go at it because frankly the body is so rusted that I could just put this thing right through it if I put too much pressure on it. So I'll have to see what else I can do. I can clearly see where the bolts come up into the floor of the boot there, the trunk. And so I know I have all the bolts off, and I'm still trying to work at getting the fuel pump connectors off and so forth. I have a lot going on down there. But I feel like if I could just lower that tank, I could access those things a lot easier. But I think that's all I'm going to do today. I'll go ahead and start. Okay, so I think I have a plan of action. I know the lighting's crappy and you can probably hear all the work going on outside. Here's my plan. I'm going to spray WD-40 all around the edge of the tank. I don't really think that's going to do a whole lot, but it can't hurt. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this chisel punch and just slowly go all the way around the tank and just kind of tap at it, and eventually that'll come loose. Oh my gosh, look at this. Folks, check it out. It's coming down. All right, we've done it. Whew. It is all off, ready to go. I'm feeling really good. Yeah. What do I do with it now?